Hello ladies and gentlemen, it's BT Plays here, welcome back to another video. And in this video it will not be a car review, it will not be a vehicle review, it will be a how to drift in the Crew 2 video. So yes, in this video I'll be teaching the basic steps of how to succeed in drifting in the Crew 2, the easiest ways to get better, best tracks, best car, best parts to put on, stuff like that. So to start off with, what we're going to do is we're going to pick out a good drift car. So obviously there are many drift cars you can get from the street racing dealer. There are many. There's like Lamborghini Aventadors, Koenigsegg Regeras, Nissan Nismo, stuff like that. So you're wondering how and which one do I pick to make me better at drifting? The answer to that is depends what you are best at. So for example, my favourite drift car in the game will either be the Nissan 370Z or the Nissan 370Z Nismo. They're probably my two favourite drift racing cars or drift event cars, just because of how they're four-wheel drive and they use their back wheels to drift instead of their front. Some cars use their front, some cars use their back. I prefer the four-wheel drive cars that use their back. So as you can see, I've got quite a few drift cars here, and many of the American cars use their front wheels, which I do not like. The Ford Focus RS and the Mustang GT Fastback, especially the Mustang actually, I've used, and I don't find them appealing to me as much as the Japanese cars. So I prefer the Japanese drift cars much more than the rest of the world. I don't know if that's because they specialise in making drift cars or whatever, but I personally think any Japanese drift car is going to be very beneficial to you getting them big points. So starting off with, I say get the you start off with the Mazda RX-7. You can buy that, that's the cheapest one, and you will start off with it, and it is a great vehicle that I even still use sometimes now to just play around with, and it is still one of the best drift cars in the game in my opinion. And obviously I've got the 370Z and also the 370Z Nismo that I also like. I haven't used the Skyline GTR as much, but definitely these two are my favourite. And the best thing about these drift cars is that they are very, very cheap. They're only about 100 grand, 200 grand max. So they are very cheap, and they are probably some of the best. I've got the Aventador for comparison. It is very fast, which may be an issue to some, because you don't really want a fast drift car because you might spin out and hit the barriers and lose points. So the Aventador is, I'd say, one that you would get if you can master drifting pretty well. You can get, you can easily complete on ace and get them points. I'd use an Aventador just because it's nice. It's quite fast, so when you are losing that speed, you can just hold down R2 for a bit more, and then you don't have to use any boost, which is always nice. But in this video we will be focusing on either the RX-7, 370Z or the 370Z Nismo. So I've picked the 370Z to guide me through this video because that is my personal favourite and the one that I always use. And then when you obviously first get the vehicle, it will be 125, which is pretty bad, but with the easy events it will be fairly easy to get them points, because with the easy event, with the drift event, if you put it on easy, they will always give you like 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand points to get to, which if you keep a streak for at least 30 seconds, you can easily get that in that time. So don't have to worry about getting the parts right now. Just make sure you complete these events on easy, build up the parts to get to a 240, get to 240 parts, and then once you get to 240, I suggest you complete as many on Ace as you can, so you can get these gold parts, because as soon as you get these gold parts, you can or even the pink parts, either way, get the pink or the gold. And once you get them, you want to make sure that you have hothead and slippery on your parts. On every single part that you have on your drift car, you want to make sure you have these two affix. Okay, now what they do is hothead, it increases the speed multiplier by 5, well, a certain amount of percentage in drift events. So mine is 5.2, yours could be 3.1, 8.2, it depends, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to keep recalibrating it, but if you get one between 4 and 5, that's decent, and it increases your score, so that's always good. It increases the actual score meter. And then slippery increases the maximum multiplier by 12.5, so obviously you can go higher and higher. Obviously you want to keep a streak, so you want to keep drifting for as long as possible, because when you keep drifting, you get a multiplier, and that multiplier will increase with slippery by 12.6%, which is very, very handy. It doesn't sound handy, but it is very handy when you're trying to drift. And when you have this on every single part on your drift car, it will make getting them high points very much achievable. Very much achievable. So now that we've got them parts on, I will take you down to one of my probably one of the best tracks in the game for drifting, for starters, as it is just drift galore. Like, you can just drift as much as you want. I will take you down to that, and I'll show you, yeah, probably the best drift track for starters. So I'll meet you there. Okay, so we are here at one of my favourite drift events in the game, and it is Airport Terminal D in Miami, at Miami Airport. If you come down here, scroll up in, and obviously you can put it on normal, hard, ace, whatever you want. I'm going to put it on normal just to quickly show you the basis of the track. So this track has a lot of turns, which is very good for drifting. There's no like straight line action that most tracks have, so keep that in mind. The first things first with drifting is you want to just drift, just be yourself, alright? So what you want to do is when you get to a corner, start turning. You don't really have to do much, you don't have to brake, nothing. You can obviously keep holding on to the trigger R2 to keep going. And what you want to do is you want to not bump into anything. I mean anything. If you bump into anything, your score multiplier will stop, and your score will just end there. So the multiplier will go and to restart. So what you want to do is you want to keep drifting, just keep drifting. Maintain your speed by using L2, R2. I don't know what it is on Xbox, but just, you know, brake, start up, brake, you know, you just want to maintain your speed throughout. Make sure you don't hit anything, and you also want to make sure that you're always drifting. You always have white smoke coming out of your tires to prevent multiplier going. This is what you do. You keep drifting. Doesn't matter how slow you go, doesn't matter how fast you go. Just keep drifting. Don't stop. If you find it hard like to keep drifting, just what I do, I'm gonna stop quickly. Go in a straight line and just turn left, turn right, and there you go. It's literally not that hard. What the hardest thing for me is to maintain the speed. So obviously you have to maintain the speed so you don't crash. If you feel like you're going too fast, just quickly tap L2. Don't hold it down, tap it. If you're going too fast, just tap L2. And if you're going too slow, try and hold R2 for, don't tap it, just like hold it down for like two seconds, maybe like a second and a half, something really precise like that, because every precise action in drifting is very effective. So just to ensure that we're on the same page, is you want to make sure that you don't crash into anything at all. Don't crash into anything. If you do, your multiplier will go down, and you also want to make sure that you maintain your speed throughout the drift by holding R2 and L2 or tapping them to get a reasonable, not too fast, not too slow speed, so you're maintaining it. Now that we've maintained it, I suggest you start on normal on the Airport Terminal D drift event in Miami. It's right here on the map. I suggest you start going and practicing there at least a couple times a day. You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it a lot. Obviously you earn money from it as well in RP, and you also get them parts that you will definitely need in the future if you want to make the money and become pretty good at drifting. And my second drift event that I really like and I really suggest you go to is, where is it? It is here at the Miami racetrack. This one right here. I suggest you do this one, as it is just the whole of the racetrack. As you can see, there's quite a few turns. There is quite a long straight line bit there, but do as I say, just like turn left and turn right, turn left, turn right. Obviously maintaining the speed at the same time so you don't overshoot it and undershoot it. As well as for drifting, make sure you pick the correct vehicle. I can't stress this enough. Please pick a vehicle you are comfortable with. Obviously, use a muscle car like the Ford Focus or the Mustang GT Fastback if you are comfortable with them cars and you know how to actually use them. But if you are not quite confident and quite a beginner at racing in this game in general, then try out using the Nismo, just any Japanese branded car, Nissan. Just get it down you. The MX-7, the Nismo, just 370Z. Just get them, and you will definitely get better at drifting soon enough. But for now, I'm pretty sure I've told you everything. Just maintain your speed, don't crash. Maybe I can do another guide, maybe do another more advanced guide, something like that. But yeah, this has been BT Plays. If you did like, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. And yeah, peace.